Hi everyone. In this tutorial we are going to be recreating this spin animation over here on this cute milk card box container, and for that we are going to be using a lattice modifier alongside a simple deform modifier. We're also gonna do some like basic up and down animations and rotate animations to make it more wholesome. Of course, I haven't used the graph editor in this one, so like the animation isn't like smoothed out. It's like the animation breakdown, like animating the step-by-step frames for this to happen. But I haven't smoothed them out or done anything in the graph editor. It's gonna be like a very basic keyframing tutorial. But I found this quite interesting because I was watching like a Max on Cinema 4D and tutorial popped up in my feed in YouTube, and I like watched it and I was like, there is no easy way to do this in Blender, but it turns out there is, and I was clueless about it, so I decided to make this. So I've already set up a new scene for this. I've deleted all of the modifiers. As you can see, there is no animation going on now. We can shortly begin this. And what I like to do, which I didn't do it when I first started experimenting with this, because the other file was simply to see like how I can make the exact same animation, so more or less. But what I like to do is I like to use empties for when I'm going to have something animated, and you'll see the purpose of this if you animate quite a lot and the graph editor can get messy. It's always good to just parent, like group or parent or call it whatever you want, your objects inside a thingy like this. So I'm gonna set this to 0, let's see. But I want this like facing on the front, let's say. Let's hide this for now. So let's say that it's not coming on the front. Oh yeah, but yeah, you know, it's arranged mostly facing like the correct axis or whatever. So let's go to, oh, I forgot a good thing. We just saw this. Where are my key casts? Let's see. I always forget this. Most of the time I always forget this. Let's offset them a bit. I'll keep them here so that even when I'm going to well, you can see what I'm doing. So let's select this one first. Is this one? It's the milk carton box, whatever it's called. I don't remember what this one's they're called, like the package design, whatever. And secondly, the empty, which is basically an empty sphere. And yeah, let's drop this in here. I made a separate collection for the background, the lights, and everything, because it's always good to like have your layers in the, I forgot what this one is called, whatever, the scene collection thingy interface. It's good to separate stuff so that I can hide them when I'm doing stuff like this, and let's name this like product, whatever. So I get this one, then I shift select this one, I control P this, and we're gonna have set this parent to object, keep transform. Not sure what the rest are doing, never use them, I just always use this one, which is supposedly the one for what I'm trying to do. So yeah. And then what we are going to do is get my thoughts straight. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna add this lattice modifier. Now this one alone doesn't do anything. As you can see, we can select an object to parent it to basically have it hook on it. Not sure how to explain this properly, but if we go here, add lattice, let me go into isolate mode, you can see we have this invisible wireframe cube in here. And if I enlarge this, it's over there, but we're gonna bring it down to our object. I'm doing this example with this, but basically we could have done this with a cube so you guys see how the animation is performed, but yeah, so let's fit it around our package, and I'm gonna hide this once more because I feel like it's not helping. And when I go back here and I select lattice, so now this is gonna help us with the behavior of the lattice. Basically, if we don't have the modifier here, even if I start doing animations on this thing over here, it's not gonna show up because basically your object has to be inside the lattice for this to work. I'll see if I can demonstrate this better later on, but yeah, so we need the lattice modifier. We're gonna select with the eyedrop tool our lattice here, and then I'm going to go here on the resolution. Let's set this to 10. You see it's this area by 10. It's the like 3D spectrum. As you can see, we got these lines here, we got these lines here, and we're missing this ones here, so another 10. Maybe even 10 is too much, but let's do it like this and see how it behaves. And I'm also gonna take the lattice and I'm gonna parent it as well on the carton box. So now they should be below this. The cylinders are the leads or whatever. This is our lattice for the interactions and stuff. So, and from what I'm seeing, this should have been around here. So I'm gonna start this with the basics so that it doesn't get confusing earlier. I'm gonna name this controller. We should have had another one though. I should have two of these ones. So I'll maybe do the up and down. I wanted this ones for the rotation, basically when this is gonna rotate. And we need another one for the up and down. So let me see. Let's have, I'm gonna have a cube, and hopefully this won't get too confusing for the rest of the animation, because the lattice is a cube as well. So let's, this is like an invisible box, let's call it invisible, whatever. This is gonna be like one of the controllers, but I need to like get the shape of the, it's good to like probably like arrange this on the size of your item or whatever. So I want this basically to be the up and down controller, so that this one is the rotate controller. I know this is a lot of info, but whatever, and I'm gonna call it simple controller or mother controller, whatever. You can do it your way. And I'm gonna also hide the lattice for now so that you see. So I'm gonna do the rotations with this one and the up and downs with this one. So let's parent this one over here. Hopefully these ones are gonna show just fine once. Because sometimes when I'm in edited mode, so that this one is up, and then there's stuff showing here and you can't really see the shortcuts, but this is gonna be pretty simple. So yeah, let's start with this one. So I'm gonna Maybe let's leave a few keyframes at the beginning just in case. Let's go from the 150. I like leaving a couple frames behind in case I want to go back and add something else so that I don't have to drag everything around. So maybe you could have this at 1000, start at 500 like this, and begin your animation somewhere around here in case you want to go back and you want to add stuff anyways. So let's keyframe this on the Z axis around here. This is our background. Another useful thing is if you want to, like, this is my camera, if I want to move my camera where the real life reaction is now moving, like when I'm moving the mouse, what you do is you click here. I'm in the view menu, camera to view. So basically now when I'm in the camera, the view of the camera is set to the viewport real time. So like what real time, like it's not gonna move when once you disable this, but it's easier to set your camera perspective this way. So if I want it here, for example, or whatever, like the zoom in, zoom outs, it's pretty damn good. Let's actually set it here. Maybe we're gonna rotate it from the other side. Let's see. Anyways, so this is like the first keyframe on the 450. It's set. Then we can move alongside. I don't know, maybe like, let's say around here, 550. It's like around 500 frames. Move upwards and keyframe this. So you can see it's going up and it's going up pretty slowly. So let's move this around because this is going to take forever to preview. Yep. And then I can Control C this one and Control V to copy paste the keyframe so that it gets back to the original position it initially started at. So basically what we're doing now is we're blocking out the animation. There could also be a bit of, like, I can just 50 these ones, basically duplicating the exact same position, and just pause it for a bit in the air before it comes down. Let's keep it like that for now and I'll see you later on. Can't recall if I did this in the original one. This is for building up anticipation if you want to do something else before it comes back down, but let's not complicate this too much because I'm doing this on the spot, which is very stressing, let's say, and uncomfortable. I can't really go through all the details of what would happen if I actually went into like polishing this animation, let's say. So we have our up, back down, and now once it goes up, I want this to spin. So let's go couple. Let's go here so it doesn't get confusing for when we're pushing this. When you use the wheel, you can expand this to zoom your keyframe. You could also be here, but I always do this in the layout. Maybe it's better to use animation. I rarely do that for some reason, whatever. So for our rotation, now we were in the mother controller, which is my up and down controller. Let's go around here. First 60 is like 10 keyframes later on from when it starts going up. And we click the rotate controller. I'm gonna, you can do all of stuff. Let's keyframe this one, which I believe is the one that we want. And it's going, let's say, another thing you can do, M to use a marker. So you mark this keyframe and M here and here so that I can see them when I'm not actually selected on the mother controller. And now you can see where you put your other keyframe so that you know it starts going up from here. This is like it's the same thing, and then it goes down. So let's set this to here actually. And I can start rotating this. Might be nicer to do this. You can see when it starts doing the full circle where it's gonna end, whatever. Let's do it like that. Actually a full circle, and I'll see how it looks. So it starts going up and it's spinning, as you can see, and then it goes down. We can also have it spin once more when it goes down to the perspective that we want it to. Whoa, whoa, let me see. Oopsie daisy. So let's keep it here. Let's say something like that. And because this is looking very weird now with this camera, what you can do to have your camera following the product, you can go to track 2. Of course, it could have been any other one of this one, so just try this one and it works. So we're gonna stick with this one. And now when I go up and down, camera is gonna follow. Now if you want to change angles, I'm not quite sure how that will look. Let's see. So yeah, a long time ago I would have done this manually with the camera tracking, but for this tutorial this one works just fine. Anyways, let's disable it for now. So now it's going up and down and spinning, and we have our lattice with quite a bit of geometry, more than enough probably. This is like the seamless background. So with the cupcakes. So what we can do now is we can select our lattice. We can go to add modifier, and we are going to add a simple deform modifier. You can see this is already deforming in a very weird way. So, and it's on the twist, which is the one we want, if I remember this correctly. But we need the z-axis. And you can see as I'm doing this, it's twisting, twisting, twisting like a so hopefully I can get this trick right for you so that it's showing like the one I originally made. It's been a while since I made that one for testing out the animation if it's gonna work. So now this is set to 0 on the twist and it's on the z-axis, and that's the axis we want, otherwise it's gonna, you see, deform on the other axes, which is not what we want. We want the z-axis. Set this to 0. Our animation is starting here. So as it goes up and spinning, what we want, this is gonna be set to 0, let's say around 455. So let's pick up back the lattice. I'm gonna keyframe the angle here, and as it starts going up, I'm gonna set the deform. Let's see. I want this to happen clockwise. It could be this one maybe. Yeah, minus. Let's just test this out because you gotta test it. And as you can see, it's kind of like an illusion, I believe, because you need both the rotate and the twist for this to work, unless there's something else that I'm not aware of for how to do this. But I just twisted this way and it works. But you see, it comes back down twisting. So for that part, we're gonna set it back to 0. So let's pick up our lattice. It's up until here. I want it like while it starts spinning to just go back to how it was, but without it being weird. Like I don't want to show the. And here we go. That was it. Let's preview this once more because I believe we got it right the first time around, which is good. Last tutorial I made, I had to do a lot of reshoots because something would just go wrong. So this was easier because it's much shorter, and I believe it shows quite some funny tricks. Like you don't have to do this specifically with a carton box model. And let's see how it looks if we don't have the lattice on. Like, let's basically now this is the simple deform could have also been over here. But the reason I'm using the lattice is so that the geometry doesn't get fractalized. Like maybe let's try it without the lattice as well so that you guys can see the difference. So let's see it once more. Goes up, spins around, does the... I'm sure there's a way to fix that, but and let's say that I'm gonna like do a save for this one because I don't wanna like mess it up. The other file had a glitch where I couldn't really see the interface. This one's I couldn't see them, and when I would go into edit mode again, I couldn't see the much like it's doing now. So maybe that's something I'm doing wrong. Anyways, so basically, if we didn't have the lattice on, and we did this entire thing without a lattice, I need to disable this, so let's just disable it. If the lattice wasn't on and we did the simple deform around here, it would just look messed up, I believe. But maybe I'm wrong. So let's test it out. Yeah, it wasn't so bad after all, so maybe you can also test this out without a lattice. Originally, I thought that I had to use it. I also had a subdivision modifier and a bevel modifier in here, which I removed for the simplicity of this tutorial. So let's see. Maybe because, yeah, my model now has quite a lot of geometry, so it's not an issue. Like, it's not necessary to, like, use it. But let's do something similar for this. Let's see how it looks. So yeah, you can do this without a lattice as well, but the lattice has a lot of fun capabilities for deforming, like can't really notice any difference here now. So yeah, maybe it's not necessary. But another cool thing you can do with the lattice is, let me see if I can get this to work. If I wanted to like do will this work though? Because I'm not aware of what is the problem when I go into edit mode. I can't see the point here, so I'm not sure if this is a glitch or I am doing something wrong, or it's because I have animation on the lattice right now. Something definitely seems off. But a cool thing you can do with this is, let's say you wanted another kind of deformation. You can go into the vertex groups, click the shape keys, click another one, set the value here to 0. It's just a keyframe. This is like shape keys, keyframing animations. And you can go here, then step a couple frames forward. You can go into edit mode, and now normally this one should be showing where the vertices are, but they are. But anyways, I have a vertex selected right now. It's not showing for some reason. Must have done something. And I can get the soft brush and just like do this. Let me get like, I need to get an external. Oh god, this is a pain, and I'm not sure why the interface is like this now. If it's because I've animated the lattice, but whatever. I just wanted to show this. So you can do kind of stuff like this. You can like deform your geometry, make it look like a jelly. and just let's see, I want my product to look like it's pumping up or whatever, like a funny little animation where it's like, you know, it has air contained inside, so it's about to explode or something, and then it just inhales, something like that. That would have been cute. So you can do this kind of stuff by using a lattice. Let's just keep it like this. And if I'm correct now, when I go back to the normal mode and I set the value to 1000, there we go, it's animating. We can shorten this. Let's have a bit of delay and then set it back, and you can see it's gonna do this. And what you can do is set this animation somewhere around where the spins are happening to just make it look like it's exploding. I'm not sure if it fits with this one, but yeah. And the reason I have parents is because if you go into the graph editor now, it's much cleaner which keyframes are your rotations or which keyframes are your up and down positions, at least for this one, because now the lattice has quite a lot of different transformations. But for this one, like if I have the rotation and the up and downs on the same one, it can get confusing. So when animating products, simple object stuff like this, it's way easier to use a graph editor afterwards if you have parents. So I believe this was it. I think like we can wrap this up now because but yeah, you can do this if your product has a lot of geometry. You can do this without a lattice modifier, but if you were to use a cube, I suppose, without enough subdivisions, it wouldn't work the same way, I believe. Firstly, I had tested this with a cube at the very start, and then I was like, I don't want to show a cube, so I did this. Here we go, color mode. It's cute. So yeah, that was it, and I hope you enjoyed this, and if you watched it, that you were able to like figure out a thing or two that maybe you've never heard of before. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.